YouTube, JB from Oz here today. Today we're doing a bit of a, what would you call, a systems check on an embroidery machine. Going through, sussing out all of the potential things that go wrong to try and bring it all back onto an even keel. Some of the things we check here include all the rotary hooks, pulling off all of the take-up levers, checking all of the wear on surfaces such as the take-up lever drive, cleaning through the nose, cleaning through inside, re-greasing and cleaning all the pickups, replacing the disc at the top of the drive. Down the bottom end we'll go through, clean all the dust out of the rotary arm, check the end float on the arms here, grease up the rear drives, reset all the positions, reset all of the hook timing positions, just basically going through. Now, one of the first things that is useful is to ensure you're at a good start position, and there should be a number written somewhere. It's either 64 or 135, I think, from memory. See if I can.
What's the start position?
63.5 is the machine home position, which we can check. Let's see. From our service menu, we have our tests diagnostics. Currently machine position 64 degrees, 64.9. Typically it returns within a degree of where it's meaning to be. The JF machine, one of them has a sticker on the side of the head here. Forget which one. I'll go and have a quick look at one of these others. Watching out for the traffic. Not that one. Not that one.
JB.
Yeah, no, one of the machines has a label, and then the others are different. There we go. 202.8 degrees. So on this machine, which is a JAF machine, there's an 8mm hole right up in the guts up there, which you can put an 8mm dowel pin into at 202.8 degrees. The head timing position should be testable and set on all of the others. So it's not that for the JB and the JF machines. Quick check. Again, nothing marked there. So you see on these that the dowel position's on the left hand side of the head instead of the right hand side. So this is where we test our head timing position, and I'll bring you back. So silly me, of course, try and mislead you. What we've got is an 8mm drill bit, so if you're stuck for an 8mm dowel pin, an 8mm drill bit is usually somewhere near it. From the right hand end you can see the dowel pin goes through. You can also see down in that bearing that there's a 8mm hole. I'm telling you it's 8mm, so you can trust me. I am a dentist. So on the JF, it's from this side. Would you care to hold the camera please, Maestro? So we're just sort of looking down there. Going to release the brake. This is the inspection sheet for a JB08 machine. Of interest is cam disc height of 64 degrees. This is the inspection sheet for our JF08 machine. Purchased in the year 2000, March 2000, May 2000. Of interest is cam disc adjusted 140 degrees. There's another JF machine which we've owned since new, purchased in March of 2000. This one showed an original inspection of 140 degrees, an adjustment to 137, and measured on the machine of 136 across all of the heads. Each head is very much within 0.1 of a degree of this setting. This is the inspection sheet for a JAF machine that we own and have owned since November 2003. This one here shows cam gist adjusted at 136 degrees. So there's a potential that we have a bit of change here. Other things to note: needle rise 202.8 degrees on the JAF, 205 degrees on the JF that we purchased second hand, 205 degrees on the JF that we've owned since new, and 203 degrees on the JB that we've owned since new. The position of the cam that drives the lifter is set by an 8mm dowel pin through a block in the side of the head that looks like this into that cam location position. On this JF machine that I'm presently working on, it is measuring around 139 degrees, plus or minus a degree or so across the machine. So depending on whether all of the heads are out or whether just a particular one or two heads are out will impact how I choose to correct for this. Where I've measured a range, it's by rotating the drive shaft to the two extremes of the center of the pin. As you can see here, there's a bit of rotation given the distance away of the cam to the pin, and so our actual position would probably be best set at a mid-range point between the two. Reviewing the range of measurements that I have across the heads, these are the information that I found. Reviewing the heads, I've got a range of variances from 0.6, 0.5, 0.4, 0.3, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5 and 0.6 across those numbers. So I have three that are reading on a low end of 138.0. I have three that are reading on a low end of 138.3, one that's reading on the low end of 138.4, and an outlier on head 7 which is reading at 138.7. So within those, the B's and C's together make up half of the heads. So if we were to say at the mid-range position that our machine is currently set to 138.5 or 138.6 as the average of the good heads, that would leave potentially 3 heads, maybe 4 heads to adjust, alongside adjusting all of these heads to the correct timing position. The question really will be is, what is that correct timing position? On the JAF we know it is 136 degrees. On the JF that we've owned since new, it was originally 140 and it has been revised to 137 in the paperwork, and subsequently has been revised to 136 in the actual machine state. Now that machine was serviced by the dealer, and I believe that would be the setting that he's set. So I am going to suggest that we adjust our settings to 136 on this machine. So the first thing that I'm looking to do is to adjust the timing of all of these heads such that we have a 136 at the middle of our range of settings. The shaft with the brake off till my encoder is reading 138.6 degrees, and I've then reapplied the brake. On my head 1, the dowel pin now passes easily through at that location. Head 2, the same thing occurs. Head 3, happy. Head 4 is a little bit tight. Head 5 is a little bit tight. Head 6 is a little bit tight. Head 7 is good. Head 8 is easy. So head 7 was the one that we saw as being out of range, the furthest out of range, but it looks like we've managed to get somewhere near it with that. It could be better, and so I'm going to start adjusting the locking collar. With an Allen key. It is important to ensure that the split and the locking collar occur at the same location. As it clamps up, it will need to allow that split to close where the clamp is. If you put that somewhere else, it won't work correctly. Once the clamp is free, you'll see that the cam rotates quite easily. Push the dowel pin in at the appropriate center location and then retighten the clamp bolt. Okay, so I've now gone through and all the heads register very cleanly. Our current location. Everything being our current location is 138.7. We want our current location to be 136. So keeping this clamped, what we now do is position our main shaft to 136 degrees, and our dowel pin out. Alt X. .4. Okay, so I'm going to tweak by using the brake until our sensor position is 136.0 exactly. Okay, so our shaft encoder is now at 136.0. And note that our dowel does no longer pass through the hole. We've got all our heads timed together, so the remaining adjustment I'm going to make is to adjust the head shaft to the main drive shaft to being 136.0. And to do that, I release this clamp, move the head shaft, adjust with my pins, and then retighten up this. Okay, so now our shaft is independent to our drive because we've released that lock. Position ourselves with our dowel pin. So we've now set 136 on our head. We've now just got to tighten up our coupler. Okay. Our dowel through our head position. Across all of our heads. .136.1 or 136.0, give or take a 15th. So we've now set our picker height on a JF machine to 136.0 across all of the heads. Swap out a take-up lever bar. We've scribed a line across the front edge here. Remove the bolts. There it is possible to see the scribed line. A replacement from spare parts. A little bit of Glycmo on the rolling surface of the bearing. Back into position. Replace the bolts. It's important to make sure that the wheel is running on the cam. As we bring this down, we can still see our line, and we're checking our parallel to that line. Once we're happy that it's straight and back on in position, do a final assembly, tighten, torque. It's into an aluminium housing, so you don't want to over torque any of these bolts. Just want them snug. Being 4 bolts on here, there's plenty of meat. Always alternate sides, and maybe you're torquing up 4 fasteners like this. Final check. Right, job done. It's important to check end float of the shaft, and anything that has end float in it, just want to adjust out. Because there's a gear at the end, any slop in that shaft transfers into a loss of position of the needle, and also float of the rotary hook, which you also don't want. So that's been checked now. Service, we want to grease the back drive. Underneath these back covers there's a lot of dust and dirt. It's worth cleaning out these giving these drives a clean and putting some fresh grease on. This obviously has been a little while. So now we've gone through and touched the grease on, blown out all the dust. Pulled out any loose threads. Replaced the trimmers with a dash of grease underneath those, as you can see here. Then the back cover's ready to go back on. Okay, so all the drive covers are back on to the machine. Reassembly of the faces. We have Glytmo in the travel on the nose of the clinker and the latch. Across the running back for the needles and the take-up levers are all greased as well. The drive pins all the way across the machine. So our next step is to assemble the take-up levers on and then put the heads on, and then we can position our rotary hooks. All the covers over the workings. We've got grease on the rails, grease on the nose, grease on the running, and now we're putting take-up levers back on. Once the hook is set, once the bobbin holder is in place, we've got a twisted pair of threads able to pass through easily. We now need to insert the thread sensor. 1, 2, so there's a magnet. That's what detects the thread break. When the cut happens, that gets pushed out of the way by this assembly here. So as that rod comes forward, this comes forward, pushes the thread contact sensor out of the way of the blade, cuts the thread and returns. Happy joy. Needle plate on top, 2 screws, loosely positioned. Anytime you return a needle plate, you need to make sure that the needle is centered in the needle plate. So you loosely attach the needle plate, set your machine to 203 degrees, release the solenoid, drops the needle, catch the needle, lift the needle, adjust the plate position until it is central. Like so.
Work, you pull the leaders apart, clean them all up. This is just masking. Basically there are 2 felts, one there and one opposing it, and that holds the 2 felts together.
Excellent.
And the thread take-up lever comes through the 2 felts, picks up the thread, pulls it back through the 2 felts, which secures it there so that the thing can be trimmed and it won't come undone. And the felts wear out, they need replacing. The way to do that is to clean up get rid of the old felt, clean up there, cut a new piece of felt.
Oh, look at that, that's lovely.
Mask it up,
Yeah.
and then just use a spray adhesive on both surfaces, stick them together, peel the masking tape away, job's done.
Hey, come back once you have done that.
Okay, what we're doing here is we're gluing the backs of the felts with contact adhesive, but because we spray it on, it blows the strips away. So I've used some masking tape, doubled it over, sticking those guys down, so when we spray over the top, they won't blow away. 2, 4, 6, 8.
Looks like you've got enough there, boss.
That's right. So, and these guys have had masking tape here, so that when the thread goes down, when the thing goes down, it doesn't get covered in glue. So these get glued like so. In fact, they could go next to there quite happily. We just spray that whole lot, give it a little while to dry, give it a second coat, give it a while to dry, pull them apart, whack them together, job done. Too easy.
Sweet. I have nightmares about the smell of this stuff.
Say what?
I have nightmares about the smell of this stuff.
The smell? That's
Yeah.
good stuff.
I'll tell you what,
It's good stuff.
how many years was I running that printing press?
It's good stuff.
Too many.
Okay, so we need a bit of masking, so it's all over everything else.
Geez, you're starting to look a bit too professional there.
Got you bluffed.
Well, you know my skill as far as masking goes. Clean it off afterwards.
Okay, so we're away. When we first did it, we found that these guys all blew away, so it was a bit of a pain. Same with any kind of adhesive. You've got to be patient, let it dry, tack off, and then it'll stick forever. One coat,
Oh,
give it another coat in a
smell.
couple of minutes.
Oh,
Lovely smell.
no, kill me. Kill me now.
Okay, for doing the ting. So just peel back the masking tape.
That looks nice and shiny.
And peel off one of these guys. And carefully line up with the glue. And that is stucken. That's how. So
Stucken.
there's no glue there. There's no glue there or there.
Stuck into gluing.
Stuck under gluing.
Excellent. Rinse and repeat. So we finished reassembling all the heads, timing all the needles into the rotary hooks, positioning all the needle plates, reassembling all the heads. So then day shift's job is to rethread the machine, run a sample, make sure everything's happy. But the way we set it up, there shouldn't be any problems. I hope you've enjoyed this. And as you can probably tell, these machines, 99, 2000 era machines, that's 17 or 18 years of continuous service. I am blown away with how good these machines are after so bloody long. So if you're ever looking for an embroidery machine, ZSK, they're the business. We have 5 of them here, and yeah, we had Toyotas, single heads, started with those. They wore out eventually. All sorts of issues, mechanical, electrical. But these German machines are just rock solid. And with what we've done today, they'll be right for another 10, 15 years as well. Good service in Australia from So Simple, Greg at So Simple. Around the world, I'm sure there's good service agents as well. But mate, there's no compromise. If you've got to spend the money and you want a production machine, these are the machines. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great new year. See you next time.